CTV News at 5 with Marina Moore and Tony Rima with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Greater Sudbury Police seized $50,000 in suspected cocaine Sunday. As part of a drug trafficking investigation, police say they stopped a Mississauga man as he was coming into the city. A search of the 36-year-old man revealed 500 grams of cocaine, a handgun, and $3,000 in cash. Police say the investigation led them to a downtown Sudbury residence where they found materials used in trafficking. OPP in Callander, just south of North Bay, ran a safety inspection blitz Sunday, and that led to a slew of charges against 2 people and a BC business. Police say they inspected this truck as part of their commercial vehicle inspections on Highway 11. Among the offenses were having an insecure load, defective brakes, and operating an unsafe combination of vehicle. According to police, the 24-year-old driver faces 14 charges, including driving without the proper license. His 31-year-old passenger faces 2 charges for having cannabis readily available, and the BC company that owns the vehicle has been hit with 8 charges. Police seized the vehicle and trailer plates as a result of the inspection. Time now for our first check on weather, and those rain clouds didn't leave us for very long. In fact, they're back today. And for more on the wet weather, we go to CTV's Amanda Hicks, filling in for Tony Rima. Amanda, what is happening out there?
I know, it's a fast-moving system, that's for sure, Marina. Your first look at weather is brought to you by CAA. You can become a member at getcaa.ca. So we do have showers expected tonight and tomorrow, some cooler temperatures on the way as well, but then things are going to start to turn around a little bit. Going to see some sunshine on the way, some drier conditions, mind you, feeling a little bit fall-like out there though. But I'm going to be calling the next few days a weather sandwich, and I'll explain what I mean by that a bit later on in the show, Marina, but for now I'm going to send it back to you.
All right, I'm looking forward to that. Thank you, Amanda. In other news, a multi-billion-dollar Canadian contract for a Quebec shipbuilder is good news for Sault Ste. Marie, as specialized steel will be used in the construction. We get details and reaction from CTV's Angela Gemmell.
Canada is building 6 new icebreakers for the Canadian Coast Guard. The $11 billion federal contract went to Chantier Davy in Quebec, but it needs suppliers.
More than 1,500 suppliers from across Canada will support the work here at Davy. That means steel workers at Algoma Steel in Sault Ste. Marie, fabricators at Brennan Steel in Brampton, Ontario, steel specialists at Stigerstall in Hamilton, all working together, producing, preparing, and supplying the high-grade marine steel that forms the backbone of these ships.
These polar icebreakers are the best in the world, and they will be using Algoma steel, because Algoma steel actually makes that kind of steel.
No one from Algoma Steel returned our request for an interview, but on X, the company says it welcomes the announcement, and as Canada's only producer of discrete steel plate, says in part, "We are proud of the role Canadian-made steel will play in strengthening our domestic shipbuilding industry and supply chains." Algoma laid off 1,000 workers earlier this year, in part because of tariffs. Sheehan says using only Canadian suppliers and manufacturers on the ship project shows a commitment by the federal government.
We're looking at new opportunities with our Buy Canadian policy, with our national defense strategy, and this fits perfectly in there to help support those jobs, because quite frankly, Trump has set out to destroy the steel industry in Canada, and we're not going to let him happen.
Sault's mayor calls it good news for the community, but wants to see additional orders for Algoma Steel.
I think that's exactly what people in the Soo want to hear more of, and there is a need for it. That's an easy amount of steel for our steel plant to produce, and so there needs to be tens and dozens and hundreds of more orders in that vein.
The new vessels will be in service by 2038, but this isn't the first time Algoma and Davy have partnered up. Algoma provided steel plates to the Quebec shipbuilder for Coast Guard icebreakers back in February. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
To the trade war between the U.S. and Canada now, and yesterday the federal government announced counter tariffs targeting $27.6 billion worth of American imports. Finance Minister François-Philippe Champagne stated that for each product, the Canadian tariff will match the American tariff. Some of the targeted U.S. sectors include steel and aluminum, seafood and dairy, consumer goods, plastics, paper and apparel and cosmetics. Electronics and appliances along with agricultural equipment are also on the list. There's also a push for people to buy Canadian. The government announced support for Canadian workers and businesses with $7.5 billion in new and enhanced measures. They include extending temporary provisions on waiving the 1-week employment insurance waiting period, as well as providing an extra 20 weeks of EI benefits for long-tenured workers. There are also grants and interest-free loans for businesses. Meanwhile, the Federation of Northern Ontario Municipalities, or FNOM, which represents 110 municipalities across our region, is weighing in, saying this is not the time for partisan politics. In a statement to the media, it writes, in part, "Our position is clear. Stand with the Government of Canada, support our workers and industries, buy Canadian, and remain united as Canadians." Time now for a quick break. Coming up on CTV News at 5, Amanda has your full weather forecast. For now, let's take a live look at conditions in North Bay. Looking out at Lake Nipissing from the downtown area. Looks like plenty of cloud coverage, and yes, let's find more about that weather sandwich after the break.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Welcome back. So Marina hyped it up before the break here, and I'm sure you're all waiting with bated breath. What does Amanda mean by this weather sandwich? Well, let me explain here. So over the next day or so, we've got rain expected continuing into Thursday. By the time Friday rolls around, though, that's when we start to see some drier conditions. We're going to say the rain is the bread here. We've got drier conditions Friday into Saturday, depending on where you are, and then we've got rain returning once again. So once again, a bit of a weather sandwich. And Amanda, and you might be wondering, is Amanda just hungry? How is she coming up with these things? Yes, Amanda is hungry. It's close to dinner time here. This is how much rain you're going to be seeing continuing into Friday. 29 millimeters of rain in North Bay, but some more, some less, depending on where you are. 4 millimeters in Sault Ste. Marie, and then 2 in Wawa. So not a significant amount of rain. 5-day forecast starting with Sudbury, Nickel Belt. Chance of showers, risk of thunderstorms for tomorrow. High of 20-19 on Friday. Mix of sun and cloud. Chance of showers Saturday with a little bit of sunshine here and there. Continuing into Sunday, getting up to 20, which is a little bit below the normal for this time of year. For Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, chance of showers for tomorrow. High of 19, 21 on Friday. Dry conditions, beautiful sunny skies. Chance of showers throughout the weekend, getting up to a high of 22. For Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, chance of showers for tomorrow. High of 16, 17 on Friday. Chance of showers, mix of sun and cloud on Saturday. Dry conditions throughout the weekend. Cloudy skies on Sunday, getting up to a high of 21. For Temiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, chance of showers, risk of thunderstorms for tomorrow. High of 21, 18 on Friday. A beautiful day to start the weekend. Slight chance of showers throughout the weekend, getting up to a high of 21 by the time the week starts on Monday. And finally, for North Bay, West Nipissing, chance of showers, risk of thunderstorms for tomorrow. High of 22, 19 on Friday. Comfortable conditions, a little bit cooler there. Mix of sun and cloud, chance of showers throughout the weekend. High of 20 degrees, and then 21 on Monday with a chance of showers. So, Marina, some wet conditions, some dry conditions, and then back to wet again. That was your 5-day forecast.
All right, I'm going to be sticking with my tomato sandwich. Thank you for that, Amanda. As the entertainment world reels from the loss of Dolly Parton, we've learned today that actor Tim Curry has died.
So, come up to the lab and see what's on the slab.
The British actor was known for playing eccentric roles, perhaps most prominently in the Rocky Horror Picture Show, but he had a lengthy list of credits on both screen and stage. He also suffered a life-altering stroke in 2012. It's being reported he died last night at his Los Angeles home. No cause has been shared. Curry was 80 years old. The lineup for Sudbury's International Film Festival Cinefest was unveiled today. Organizers say 120 films will hit the screen this year, showcasing productions from every continent and some strong Canadian selections. CTV's Alana Everson has a preview.
Run, Terry, Run is the CTV Gala presentation opening night, September 19th. The film features behind-the-scenes, never-seen-before footage of the 1980 Marathon of Hope.
You know, Run, Terry, Run is a Canadian story, a Canadian filmmaker about Terry Fox, obviously. You know, this documentary is something that's going to last with us. You know, it's going to be played in schools, you know, for a number of years.
The film lineup this year features 6 Indigenous films, which organizers say they selected for being strong and insightful.
We try to emphasize the truth and reconciliation aspect that's happening in Canada, and trying to program films that are about having insight on the people, in the Indigenous people throughout Canada.
The concept for the festival this year was developed by Sudbury creative designer Tony Jurgelis. The theme is for thinkers and feelers.
You know, films make us think, art makes us think, you know, but it also, you know, when we watch things together, there's a great feeling and there's a great passion, there's excitement that's generated. You know, sometimes we cry, we laugh together, and it's that shared experience as well.
A special presentation film this year is Your Mother, Your Mother, Your Mother. It will be premiering at the Toronto International Film Festival before coming to Sudbury. There's also a gala presentation of I Play Rocky, which is a biographical drama that follows the development and production of the 1976 film Rocky. Officials with Cinefest say this year's lineup includes films from every continent, coast-to-coast Canadian content, and several films from Northern Ontario. The International Film Festival runs from September 19th to 27th. Alana Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
Sudbury's Yes Theatre has announced its final show date for the company's most successful play to date. The final performance of Come From Away will hit the stage on September 11th, marking the 25th anniversary of the terrorist attack and the events that followed that inspired the musical. Come From Away has broken Yes Theatre box office records, and when it closes next month, it will have set a new record for longest running show at 10 weeks. Coming up on CTV News at 5, a traditional tomato fight in Spain, plus new jobs are coming to Gateway Casino in Sudbury. We'll tell you why coming up. To Timmins now, where home sales remained strong in July, but buyers are facing a shortage of homes on the market. There were 155 homes sold across the Timmins, Cochrane and Temiskaming districts in July. That's up 9% from the same month last year. The average sale price rose to nearly $328,000, but buyers are facing fewer options, with active listings down more than 23% from last July.
The lack of housing is not helping, and the lack of good apartments that the boomers could go to. So they're staying in their homes a little bit longer. That's creating a little bit there of a bottleneck, and that's why it's tough for first-time home buyers also to get into the marketplace, because the prices are rising.
North Bay saw sales jump nearly 40% in July, while Sault Ste. Marie sales fell 20% and Sudbury sales rose nearly 8%. Gateway Casino has announced live dealer table games at its casino in Sudbury. The expansion will include 6 gaming tables, including blackjack and various types of poker. According to Gateway Casino, the new tables create 24 new jobs at the Azilda location. And you might be a lottery winner if you bought a ticket in North Bay recently. There's $100,000 sitting in someone's pocket. Yesterday's Lotto Max draw has not been claimed yet, and OLG says the ticket for the Max Plus prize was sold in the Gateway City. The $10 million grand prize winning ticket was sold in St. Catharines. More than 2,000 arm wrestlers from over 80 countries are set to visit Sudbury for the 2027 World Arm Wrestling Championship.
There are several world champions come out of Canada. At one time, Canada was the strongest nation in the world. That has kind of fallen by the wayside. We're hoping to change those things, but you have one in Sudbury, Christine Jaworski. She is a longtime world champion. There's world champions all over Northern Ontario.
Organizers say arm wrestling is for everyone of all ages and abilities. Arm Wrestling Sudbury will be hosting monthly competitions leading up to qualifications and the championship, helping people practice but also start in the sport. We'll have more on this story coming up in our 6 o'clock newscast. OHL training camps are officially underway across Northern Ontario. The Sudbury Wolves were among the 3 Northern OHL clubs putting players through their paces today. CTV's Eric Tashner is following the North Bay Battalion, Sioux Greyhounds and Wolves training camps. He'll have a full report also on our 6 p.m. newscast. When we return, Rick Wyman chats with Blue Rodeo ahead of their Sudbury show. You're watching First at 5.
No strangers to Greater Sudbury. Blue Rodeo will be at the Grace Hartman Amphitheater coming up on Thursday evening, Bell Park. And again, we're proud to have the opportunity to talk to Jim Cuddy, Blue Rodeo member, and of course, big fan of Sudbury. I've got to ask you, Jim, thanks for doing this, by the way. How many times have you visited Sudbury and performed?
Well, a number of times. I mean, over the years, always. But now with the amphitheater, I guess this might be our 3rd or 4th time at the new amphitheater. It's a great place. I mean, we've always loved coming to Sudbury, and sometimes there's a right venue and sometimes there's not, and now there's really a right venue.
No, Sudbury's always been very hospitable for Blue Rodeo. So tell me the dynamic. Someone mentioned the other day. John Lennon, Paul McCartney never lasted as long as you and Greg Keeler have. So I guess that's a tribute to your ability to get along, come up with some great music, and of course entertain generations of fans now for over 40 years.
We have been fortunate to be so embraced by Canadian, what a slip, by Canadian audiences, and you can see what's on my mind. And we've never shied away from going everywhere we can in this country. So I think that has been mutually beneficial, because we have loved everywhere we've been, and I think people appreciate it when you come to their region, their city, their town. So yeah, we've been, I think at this point, after 40 some odd years, you just are kind of filled with gratitude that people come out, that they sing the songs, that it's a enjoyable escape evening for them, which I think is important now.
Oh, very important considering the troubled times in which we live in. Tell me about the set list. I mean, it's great to be able to perform the tried, tested, and true tunes. Anything new, anything different? Is there a variation in your set list for Sudbury?
Every year we try to reinvent our set list. Obviously, there's some core songs that we would be remiss if we didn't play, and we like playing. And this time we kind of mined a bunch of the records that are mid-90s records, Small Miracles, Days in Between, and we pulled out a bunch of songs from those records, and we're sort of reintroducing them. They are a little bit more complicated. So now that we're a 7-piece band, we can actually perform them with in all their forms. So it's been really good. It's always hard to make an old band learn new old songs. So we had a few growing pains about that. But now that we've come through, Sudbury is our second last show of the summer. So we're reaching a peak.
Jim, thanks for doing this. The legendary Blue Rodeo, Greg Keeler, of course, Jim Cuddy, and the cast of characters. Thursday night, Grace Hartman Amphitheater, Bell Park. You don't want to miss it.
Our first community close-up takes us to Greater Sudbury, where New Sudbury Days is returning later this week from August 28th to the 30th. Organizers say it's a weekend of free, inclusive, and family-friendly activities like live entertainment, a local vendors market, a barbecue, and a movie night. The festival was first held in 2015 and has grown into an annual celebration focused on community connection, local pride, and accessible family fun. For more information, including the event schedule, visit newsudburydays.ca. Now to a little soccer fun, and Suburnia Soccer Club's Cambrian Ford adapted soccer team in Sudbury faced off against the Special Olympics Sudbury Youth Storm team in a friendly match this week. Organizers say the benches and viewing area were packed for the match, and that it was an opportunity for the players and families to celebrate inclusion with treats afterwards. Well done to all involved. And a viewer in the Greater Sudbury community of Hanmer sent in this video saying a bear could be seen enjoying the day in this backyard. You can see the black bear here just strolling around, probably looking for a bite to eat, as the berries in most of the forests are most likely all but gone by now. Thanks for sharing. Next time, don't forget to include your name. And if you have any pictures, videos, or events you'd like us to showcase, email them to us at communitycloseup@bellmedia.ca. Finally for us tonight, in Spain, the world's biggest and messiest food fight has begun. Thousands of revelers took part in the La Tomatina festival today. During the event, attendees throw tomatoes at each other for 1 hour. Organizers expect 22,000 people from around the world this year and say 150,000 kilograms of tomatoes will be used. The Tomatina fight originated from a spontaneous battle amongst villagers in 1945. The event was banned for a time during the 1950s, but now draws a huge international following. Youch, looks like that could hurt. There's more news for the North coming up at 6. For now, continue watching CTV National News.